The God of fear or the God of truth? A Gnostic perspective. What kind of God would banish humanity from paradise for seeking knowledge? What kind of God would demand absolute obedience above all else? What kind of God would punish entire nations, command violence, or favor one people while rejecting others? A loving father or a tyrant? These questions have echoed throughout history. The ancient Gnostics offered a radically different answer. They believed that the creator of the material world was not the ultimate source of all existence. Instead, they described the lesser being, often called the demiurge, Yaldabaoth, who mistakes himself for the highest god. According to the many Gnostic texts, this ruler governs through fear, ignorance, and control, keeping humanity spiritually asleep. Beyond the demiurge, they taught exists a true infinite source, the unknowable fullness beyond the material universe. This source does not demand worship through fear. It doesn't imprison the soul. It calls us to awaken through wisdom and direct spiritual knowledge, what the Gnostics called gnosis. From this perspective, the story of Eden takes on an entirely different meaning. The fruit becomes a symbol of awakening. The serpent becomes a catalyst for knowledge. Expulsion from the paradise becomes the beginning of humanity's search for truth. Whether one agrees with Gnosticism or these ideas challenge us to ask profound questions. Should truth ever be forbidden? Should love require unquestioning obedience? Can genuine faith exist without freedom? For nearly 2,000 years, many Gnostic writings were lost, hidden, or destroyed. Their rediscovery in the 21st century reopens a conversation that has been silenced for centuries. I'm not asking you to abandon your beliefs. I'm asking you to think. If the highest God is truly infinite love and truth, then the truth should never fear questions, that knowledge should never be forbidden, and awakening should never be a crime. This video explores Gnostic's perspective. It is an invitation to question, to learn, and to seek wisdom for yourself. The journey begins with a single question. Who is the true God? What if the ancient Gnostics were trying to tell us something that history almost erased? What if the creator described in a Gnostic text isn't the highest God, but a lesser being? Whether you agree or disagree, the idea challenges us to ask. These ideas challenge us to rethink freedom, knowledge, and the nature of the divine. Have you ever noticed that Rick Sanchez seems to hate reality itself? Not just governments, not just aliens, not just authority, reality. He constantly is saying nothing matters. He rejects every system, he mocks every god, and he refuses to let anyone control him. What if God isn't a nihilist? What if Rick is accidentally one of the most Gnostic characters in modern television? What is Gnosticism? Gnosticism teaches that the physical universe is not the highest reality. Instead, the material world is a prison. Human beings contain a divine spark, and liberation comes through knowledge, gnosis, not blind belief. In many Gnostic traditions, the creator of the material universe isn't the ultimate God. Instead, the world is fashioned by a lesser being, often called the demiurge, Yaldabaoth, who is the creator, whose creation traps souls in ignorance. Rick already knows. Rick is the smartest man in the universe. He has been behind every illusion. He has seen behind every illusion. Governments, religion, family, society, even time itself. Nothing impresses him because he has already looked behind this. Because he has already looked behind the curtain. This mirrors the Gnostic seeker who is awakened to hidden knowledge that changes how reality is understood. The Citadel. The Citadel of Ricks is fascinating from a Gnostic perspective. It creates rules, hierarchies, control, identity. Even Rick eventually rebels against the very institution built by his version himself. This resembles rejecting false systems that claim ultimate authority. Infinite universes. If infinite universes exist, then no single reality is absolute. Rick moves between worlds as if each is another layer of illusion. Then that resembles the Gnostic idea that most people accept it as the world is not the highest reality. Where Rick differs from Gnosticism. Here's the important difference. A Gnostic believes awakening leads back towards divine fullness.